Hello, yarn tubers. Welcome back to Dana's Wonderlust Crochet with Dana and Dooley. There he is. Ah! Okay, I'm having to start this video over. Freeing up storage and space on my phone, I have deleted a ton, and it is not helping. So I can't record on my phone tonight. I'm using my my tablet. What is that? Okay. So let's start over here. First of all, I want to talk to you about the Bun and Done beanie. This is my, do you remember the messy bun beanie craze from a while back? Several years ago, it was all the rage, and I sold a lot of these hats for $25 a piece. And I lived in a small little conservative town, and in business, you raise your prices until you lose, one or two, till you start to lose one or two sales. That's when you know you're at the right price. And I love how she does this. Maybe if I shut this off, this will show more definition in this. I love how the Bun and Done beanie, I think this is the greatest brim, and it's done from the brim up, and then it's done in a basket weave, and it actually has a drawstring at the top, which I just keep tied, and I pull my hair through. I just take it off, put it on, pull my hair through, and I don't ever untie it. So and also another thing I did, you see there's 3 sets of basket weave here. Her pattern actually called for 4 before you start to decrease at the top. I have a pin head, and I really had to experiment a lot with this. This is kind of a child size, and I like it, pretty skull capped. You know what I mean? And but she kind of had hers like bunchy and kind of a, what do you call that? Where, you have kind of a bunched up hat at the top. It's really cute. Super cute. I will link that in the description box. Okay, so it is question and answer day, and okay, wrong. I got to bring up the right, where is that? Here it is. Questions answered. Okay, it's loading. Oh, first I should tell you where I'm at. I'm in Rawlins, Wyoming again. It's okay, so the last time you saw me, I was in Rawlins. I had 10 to 12,000 pounds in the, we call it in the box. And that's how much my cargo was in the trailer. So I stopped and spent the night, and the next morning I rolled early and got up over Elk Mountain into Cheyenne, and I delivered, picked up another load at the other end of Cheyenne. And yesterday I flew to, just outside of Wyoming, coming down the canyon. I call it the canyon area. That's east of Ogden. And I got down there to a rest area and spent the night. I was wiped out. I well over 500 miles, which, is okay considering all the running around I did and how much time was on my clock, and, being governed at 65 miles an hour. Okay, so this morning I woke up early and ran early and got down into Murray, Utah, made my delivery. Then I ran over to West Valley City, picked up another load, and I only made it, I haven't even broke 400 miles today, because guess where I am? I'm in Rawlins, Wyoming again. And the wind is blowing. It is blowing very hard. It's gotten worse since yesterday. Going at least going up over Elk Mountain, just east of here. So, and I have 13,000 pounds in the trailer. So I have all day tomorrow to deliver this load. There's a load that's kind of late, that they're trying to find somebody else to pick it up. They're asking me to pick it up. Oh, they took it off of me. Okay. Because they found a driver that was closer to pick up that load. And I told them, I'll pick it up. I'll grab it if you don't get anybody else, Well, looks like they took it off of me. So that's good. I'm hoping, they've got a driver that can get it there a lot sooner than I can. So I plan on being in Denver and done delivering this load by noon tomorrow. That's the plan. But as one of my favorite bands, Van Zant, says, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. So anyway, that's that. That's why I'm back in Rollins and the wind is blowing like mad. Yeah, I can still feel it. It's not as bad as it was night before last. Okay, so questions. Here we go. Okay. God Rocks asks about 4 questions here. What's your favorite thing to crochet? Well, I like a lot of things. I've only done, and what's your least favorite? The things that I don't like crocheting are just doing things for the sake of crocheting them. I'm really all about practicality, and for as many years as I've been crocheting, I've done 2 shawls and 1 poncho. And yes, I did a lot of these hats because I had customers who actually custom ordered them as to what colors they wanted, what size they wanted. I would not be making a ton of these hats just for the sake of making hats. The 2 shawls I made were specifically ordered, they were commission pieces, and the poncho was for a little girl. It was so stinking cute. It was like Karen Simply Soft in a hot pink, and it had fringe about that long that was beautifully trimmed. It was just perfect. And oh, it is so cute. I've done 1 amigurumi. I've done the turtles on my sea turtle blanket that are like appliques, and those were stuffed a little bit. But true amigurumi, I did 1 floppy-eared bunny for a newborn baby, and that was it. It was cute. It was, fun. It's not my thing. So I love doing pieces like the Phoenix and the Ardith blanket, because to me those are like, passed down for generations kind of pieces. Those blankets, that's why I love blankets. I think blankets, when done right and not done sloppily like a crochet factory, just pumping out blankets, I think each one is special, and that's what I like to crochet. I can't think of what I really don't like to crochet. I love the thermal stitch pot holder because it's done in rows. You don't have to sew anything, and it is the most practical thing I've ever made. And I've sold so many sets of pot holders, 2 pot holders with 2 dishcloths, done in all different colors. I would sell them for $15 a set. They usually had white stripes going through them with a solid color, and I did all different kinds of cotton colors so that people could choose a set that they, thought would go good in their kitchen. I love doing things like that. This hat, I think this is, the greatest messy bun beanie pattern out there. I just like finding those special pieces. That's a long way around to really no answer. I'm sorry. I tell you what I don't like crocheting with. I like these kind of DK cotton blends. I like the worsted or simply Aran in the paint box, depending on what I'm doing. I don't like a big fuzzy fat yarn. I don't. I like stitch definition and tighter weaves and all that kind of stuff, unless you're doing something specifically lacy. And I do have plans to do 5 different shawl and a ball shawls for ladies at church, and that of course is meant to be lacy and beautiful. So I don't know. Okay, what is your favorite homemade meal? What drink do you enjoy, not tea or coffee? Well, I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink milk. I don't drink anything with sugar in it because, okay, so for 20 plus years, I've been an Atkins girl. And I've been telling my friends that I've been clean and sober since September 24th, the last time I went home, meaning that I stopped eating the easy stuff, while I was out on the road. I made sure I had meat and proper food with me here on the truck, and I am loving me some chicken leg quarters and some pork shoulder ribs, all done in spices, and chicken bone broth or bone broth done. And the Tony's Creole seasoning right now is just my thing. So because I've been, eating that way for so many years, I don't think of sugar, flour, or starch kind of food items as my favorites anymore because I've been doing this so long. And this chicken and this pork is so tasty. I love a good beef pot roast. Oh, I love that. I love taking, like I was telling Carrie the other day, that I think it was Thanksgiving, I did, or Easter maybe, I had friends over and I put a big old ham in a cooking bag and I cooked it till it was, within about a half an hour. And then I took I don't remember exactly all the ingredients, but I know that at least I used some sugar-free pancake syrup and some mustard, and I mixed that up in a pan and heated it on the stove, and then I poured it all over that ham and cooked it, and oh my goodness, that was so good. That was so amazing. Those kinds of savory meats I love. Totally love, because fat, I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but eating fat does not turn into fat in your body, and it does not clog your arteries. Sugar and flour does that. Okay. And drink, if I'm not drinking tea or coffee, like in the afternoons, I stop drinking anything with caffeine in it, and I drink water. Or if I happen to have some excess energy drinks, because I sell those, we have we have some that have natural juice in them. We have, different varieties. I drink like the cranberry one that is sugar-free, and, occasionally, because sometimes just to have something carbonated in a little can it's a nice treat. So that's my food story. Okay, Sue Stevens, thanks for all. Husband, you are such a about your mom. In a video in the past, she was barrel racing, and I was so excited to see her. What kind of information can you tell about your mom's horseback riding and your interest in the horse business? When and how did that hold? Okay, so Mom was into horses before I was born. And I grew up, we belonged to the Canby Barrel Racing Club, and I'm not sure, I don't think Mom is actually technically a founding member of that club. This was like in the early 70s. But she's like within a year or two of that club forming in Canby, Oregon, and now it has grown into quite the organization. They are still going strong today, and So I just naturally, you know, grew up learning about barrel racing, and I really was never very good at it. It took until I decided to become a horse trainer later in life. I mean, I've always loved working with horses. I've always enjoyed barrel racing. But then I decided I was a horse trainer, and boy, was that a shock. I had to apprentice and take lessons from trainers, especially apprenticing with my friend Lori Olmsted with Quintessential Arabians in southern Colorado. She's Colorado's best kept secret. Okay, so my education started getting more rounded. There was Guy Vernon up in Kiowa, Colorado. There's Butch Mowdy in Idaho. I just kept increasing my knowledge and experience, and you know, I would like to barrel race again, maybe I don't want the hassle, but so Mom just started out, you know, basically horseback riding as a kid, but that evolved, and now Mom is a she got her Women's Pro Rodeo Association permit filled a couple years ago, and that's an accomplishment to get your card from the WPRA. So she has kept on with the barrel racing. We are two very different horse experts. She is an excellent competitor. She's been doing it, I want to say, you know, pretty much all of her life. And I have really graduated towards the true foundational horsemanship, and you know, getting responses and developing these appropriate relationships with your horses, and so two different ends of the spectrum there, but I'm very proud of her. So. And I loved, you know, my business background, you know, when I did go to start trading horses and giving lessons. And eventually, when I finally became somebody that I, you know, wasn't, my skills were no longer embarrassing me. You know, then it was my bread and butter. I started making money at it, especially, you know, the last few years in Colorado, and I want to say five-ish years that I lived in Idaho. I did develop a business out of it. I, you know, marketed it correctly, and I was successful. I wasn't physically capable of pursuing it in a way that I could really make some real money. And I kind of got tired of being broke and decided to go the truck driving route for a while. I can't answer the phone right now, Carrie. Sorry. Anyway, that's a very long answer. I may have to do this in two parts. I think because I have just been taking a long time to answer these questions. Will you be repeating that again in July? Yes. Christmas in July, fairies will happen again in 21. Let's see if I can speed this along a little bit. Purple Healer, Kelly P. Yes. The Christmas in July, that was Donna Cooper. Okay, Kelly P. Yes. Purple Healer. I think that's cute because I really have seen some kind of coloring that really does kind of mix the blue and red, and there is kind of a purplish tinge to some of them. Yes. Favorite and least favorite stitch. You know, I can do the back post half double crochet. It doesn't bother me. I think when it's done right, when it's done evenly, it makes such a beautiful line of stitches. I love double crochet. I love treble crochet. I'm not sure that I can pinpoint what my favorite is. I love all these different clusters and popcorns and puffs. that and V-stitches, different kinds of V-stitches we're using in the Phoenix. I think that's why I like the Phoenix so much, is because I get to use so many different stitches. I don't have a favorite or a least. I love them all. I love the slip stitches. This is like one row of slip stitches, and then I think treble crochets going back the other way. I love them all. Okay, let's see if I can come to, do I carry a gun? That's illegal. Okay. How do I get enough light to see? As you can see, I got these two lights up here in the back of the bunk. I've got two big lights overhead. I've got a side light over here. But I also use from Rosie from Nona's Stitching Lounge sent me a neck light last year. I think I used that the most. And I also I have two headlamps, and I use those a lot in doing my pre-trips early in the morning. And those are helpful sometimes too when it's really dark. Okay, we've gone 21 minutes now. I will answer one more. How did I start crocheting? And okay, this is Jennifer Bratton. How did you start crocheting? Do you do any other crafty type things? Jen and Willow, my sweetie American Staffordshire Terrier. Okay, Jennifer, I started crocheting. If anybody knows Mary Lane Gallegos, who came from the Dalles, Oregon, I am looking for her. I am looking for her because she taught me to crochet the very first time. And looking back now, I know that was a continuous granny square that I was making, and I never finished it. It got about, I don't know, this big, and I must have been like in the 4th grade. And then a friend from church reintroduced me to the granny square, and I was making squares, I think 4 round squares, and I never did put those together. I gave them to somebody, or I threw them away. I know, I threw them away, and they were being done out of Karen Simply Soft. I remember that, blue and white. And that was many years ago, but then I stopped for a while. I was kind of told I had to because I was getting some pain, and my chiropractor actually asked me to stop. And then I started again. I was making these horrible dishcloths and giving them as gifts. But then I found out later that, people were using those gifts because they were good dishcloths. They may have been ugly and there were a lot of mistakes in them, but they were excellent dishcloths. So then I lost my husband. And that same friend in that dishcloth story, I was just in shock for so long. She actually got online to horsejobs.com or something like that, and she pretty much got me a job with people I'd never met before on the top of a mountain on an Appaloosa ranch in Idaho. And she got me to pack up my horse trailer and leave Colorado. It broke my heart to leave Colorado. And I really didn't have very much coming with me. So when I got to this little mother-in-law apartment in the basement of this house on this ranch, I think I had a towel for the bathroom. I didn't have any linens for the kitchen, but I had cotton yarn, so I started watching YouTube, and I figured out some dishcloths and washcloths and all kinds of cloths that I needed. And then I'm like, oh man, I need a pot holder because I can burn myself with these washcloths or dishcloths. And I found the thermal stitch, and I found this blurry, wonderful YouTube tutorial, and I practiced that. I made pot holders over and over again. I was cleaning the church for $35 a week, and I was working on this ranch for room and board, and it was out of necessity. And so that really launched, because I practiced that pot holder over and over again. I eventually became good enough to sell them. And then I started taking on other projects. And I found out I could make other things. They were kind of ugly on the first try, but I just kept at it. It was out of necessity. And I think that's why now I have to have a purpose for whatever I'm making. I think that's where that came from. So this has been 25 minutes, and I do have a little clip for the end. So I'm gonna leave this one with Jennifer Bratton, and hopefully tomorrow I can do one that doesn't take so long. So anyway, Dooley and I are gonna snuggle up, and I'm gonna work on the Phoenix and watch me some more Longmire and get to bed early so I can get up over that Elk Mountain tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye. Welcome to Rollins again.